Welcome, everybody. We are so grateful to kick off the 2020 KSU Construction Industry Advisory Board virtual gala. We were all looking forward to getting together September 17th, and unfortunately, due to COVID, that just simply wasn't possible this year. But we're really just so grateful that we have just this incredible amount of support from our Industry Advisory Board to keep it going regardless. And so here we are in this very unusual format. Myself, Jeff, Dean Payne, and Irish are all here to really just give you a quick update about the school, and then we'll talk about some scholarships, and we have a great speaker, Randy Gravitt, who's going to talk to us about leadership in this unique world, but just good leadership tips for everyday life when we're not in COVID world. So I'm going to start out. I'm Beth Lowry. I should have introduced myself as we started out. I'm the incoming chair of the Construction Advisory Board. And Jeff Shropshire is the official ex-chair after today. But Jeff, I just want to say thank you. You have done an incredible job for our Industry Advisory Board. You've served as a chair. I think we squeezed out a little bit more than 2 years out of you, but certainly prior to joining as the chair, you really have just been a relentless leader, giving so much of your time and talent and treasure to the program. We're so grateful for everything that you've done. I hope that you will stay involved as long as your career will let you, and continue to, help us fundraise, help us advocate, and help us really make KSU's construction advisory program the best that it can be. So we are so grateful for you. And I'm going to kick it off to you, Jeff, to kind of talk about some reflective moments as your last time on the stage.
Well, I appreciate it, but over the years, all I've really done is try to do what I thought the department needed. People like Dean Payne and Irish, tell us what they need, and the Industry Advisory Board tries to come up with it. At the same time, we try to have a special interest in the students, how they come up through the program, so that we've got some decent leadership when they graduate. So that's what we're all about. And a big thanks to all the board members that have helped over the years. They're the ones that are participating on the fundraising gala today. Even some outside companies that are participating. We really thank you for your sponsorships, because it'll go a long way in the program. Spent a lot of time with Holland. It's kind of bittersweet this year to not have him as the chair of the department. He's been a really big friend over the years, and his heart's always been for the students and what's best for them. And we really appreciate his leadership over the years. And one thing we've been able to do, thankfully, is establish a endowed scholarship for him at his retirement. We were fortunate enough for our sporting clays fundraiser that Cherry Watson organizes. We were fortunate enough to have enough funds from that to be able to go ahead and fully fund that scholarship, so it's active now. So congratulations to Holland on having that, just to carry on his legacy, and he'll hopefully still be a part of the department for years to come. So we look forward for him to be there. And we especially want to thank Andrew and Irish for, taking over the helm, and we look forward to good things from them too.
Yeah, it's definitely been a year of change. Boy, we've had a lot going on with the program, a lot of growth, a lot of change. This time last year, Dean Cole was really just kind of, I think he was close to his retirement. And the university began a search, and in January, Andrew Payne joined us as the Dean of Architecture and Construction Management at Kennesaw State University, and we're so grateful to have you. But what a year to join a new school. So I'm sure you were just barely getting to know the administration, and here we go. We're in a whole new world. So we thank you for your commitment to the program. You've been phenomenal, just working closely with the Industry Advisory Board and really helping us with the transition. And Dr. Siddiqui, I know you're out there. I know you're watching this, and I just want to say we love you and we thank you, and we're so grateful for all that you've done. But tell us about kind of your vision for the school and what it's been like for your first couple of I guess it's about 7 months now, 8 months into the program.
Yeah, that's right, Beth. I certainly appreciate it. It really has been a wild year so far. I'm delighted to be here. I was very excited to be appointed to this position and be able to join KSU. The reputation of the CM Advisory Board and the department and Dr. Siddiqui well precedes you. Is well known around the country, and to be able to join this team, I was very excited. But you're right. We've experienced some fantastic changes this year. The student enrollment numbers are way up. We've brought in some new faculty. We've got a tremendous opportunity now with looking at the curriculum going forward with a lot of the students working in the industry right now. Bringing back some of that experience into the classroom has been a tremendous benefit to a lot of students. But also, the leadership that Irish brings to the department is well-founded. She's got a lot of experience in the industry. She's got some academic experience, and she's got a lot of great ideas from working with faculty and students here in the department. Being a part of the department under the leadership of Dr. Siddiqui, I think is going to serve her well and be able to understand what the past and the history of the program really has been. But also is going to give her an opportunity to look at the direction that the department can go now into the future, looking at how it's going to change, not only because of the COVID situation, but going through this accreditation visit coming up in next month, but also looking at the ways the industry is shifting. I think Irish got a good some good ideas that she wants to bring to the classroom, and I want to be able to support that. Jeff was right in saying that we've got a great CM advisory board, and the provost knows it, the president knows it, the faculty understand the support that we get from you guys, and so I just want to put out a great thank you to all of you for your continued support, and also to the companies that are just now joining us and being a part of this going forward into the future. So, it has been a roller coaster year, but I'm excited to be here, and I think this is just going to make us stronger in the long run. We're making some good decisions now for enrollment in classes that will change the way we look at some of the decision making in the future. And I think all in all, it's going to be a benefit for us all. So, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be part of the gala, and I look forward to the next time we can all physically be together, right? I mean, I think that's something that we're all longing for. So thanks again for having me.
Yeah, we said earlier, this hopefully is our one and only virtual gala, and all future galas will be back together in person. So Irish, you've just been a great interim chair. We appreciate you coming in, and again, in this environment. So give us an update. What's going on with the school? Lots going on.
Well, thank you, Beth. And I also would like to say hello to Dr. Siddiqui and thank you so much for setting the bar so high. But hopefully I can take this responsibility and move forward with it. And I appreciate this opportunity so much. So thank you. But to give you an update on where we are, enrollment this year, we had 725 students. So we have definitely grown, to say the least. And also our students are just, even in this COVID environment, are just the heart and soul of this program, and they are doing a phenomenal job. They're still working in the industry. They are still participating in courses, whether online or in a hybrid format. Given the impacts of COVID, school does look a little different for us. We're definitely in a remote world, but there's also opportunity in that. I've learned from industry that things in operations and how we do construction is changing a little bit because of this remote world that we're living in, which prompts the need for us to maybe incorporate some distance learning in our program. So looking at our curriculum and creating new ideas to accommodate this new environment that we're living in is definitely something that we're looking at. And the curriculum improvements will include more online options. Also, we're looking at incorporating an internship course, as well as a competition course for students who participate in the student competitions. So we're definitely looking at making some curriculum changes. That's one of the updates. Another is we do have some new faculty on board, or at least one new faculty for now. We have a new instructor who comes to us from Oklahoma State University, a great asset to our team, and he's jumped right in. He's teaching our CM 1000 class, which, by the way, has 150 students this semester. So we are definitely doing some big things in the department. And I also want to use this opportunity to discuss some of the needs that we have in the department. I appreciate all of the participants in the gala, and everyone here knows how great our program is. But one of the reasons it's so great is because of people like you and your support. So some of the things that we could definitely benefit from are more scholarships for our students. And you're going to see a little later how great and how far those contributions go in developing a student's education and career. And you're going to hear from some of those students. So I want you to keep giving and continuing to support our students in that way. But additionally, some faculty support would also be great. There's an opportunity to auction for faculty development. There are also software needs within the program. We would love to be able to use RS Means for estimating, for an example. So auctioning off some software opportunities is definitely something that you all could take advantage of during this gala. So once again, I am excited to be here. I'm excited to be in this role. And I also want to give a special recognition to the faculty. Without the faculty, we wouldn't have a program. Our faculty are phenomenal, and I just appreciate their hard work. There are several research projects that we have underway. Our program is excelling because of the faculty that we have here. So special thanks to our faculty, and thank you so much.
Wow, great, exciting stuff. So, Jeff, I'm going to turn it back to you. We have an awesome committee that does a lot of behind the scenes work, and boy, did they just pivot and come up with this weird and hopefully effective way to still connect with our broader industry advisory community with this virtual gala. So you want to give a couple shout outs to the team behind the scenes?
Absolutely. David Westrick chairs our Resource Mobilization Committee. So if this whole event falls apart, just remember it's his fault. All kidding aside, the Resource Mobilization Committee is made up of people that have been involved with this event approaching 2 decades. There is a hardcore team that's always helped put this together. And it seems like all the members stay where they're at and the chair just rotates. But what we benefit from is their experience. And the gala has always been a huge success for the department. So we don't expect this to be any different, even though it's virtual. So as you go through the silent auction, we used to gather for drinks an hour ahead of time. So just sit at your desk, have a drink, get your checkbook out, and remember that everything you bid on benefits the department and the students. As you go through, if you are a winner, your information's in the system, your email, your phone number. We will get in touch with you and we will get the item to you. So there's nothing to worry about there. But other than that, just have a great evening. Enjoy the presentation coming up. And, final thoughts, as I ride off into the sunset, you're in fantastic hands with Beth. We had an industry advisory board meeting, and if nothing else, by golly, Beth brings a little class to the new order, and we get rid of the redneck who nobody likes to listen to. So, with that, Beth, it's all yours. Thank you so much.
Well, again, thank you, Jeff, for all your service, and thank you to all the industry advisory members. I mean, in normal times, we would bring everybody up on stage and thank them. We would give lots of applause. So we will do that again when we can be in person. So with that, that's the update on the school, and we will switch now to hearing about some wonderful scholarships. And please stick around and watch Randy's message, and make sure to make some donations. Every dollar counts. As Irish said, we've got some real needs the department is trying to fill today. So whether you bid on a technology item or you just make a donation to one of these scholarship needs or the technology fund, it all goes to good use, and we really, really appreciate every dollar earned. So with that, we will turn it over to scholarships. Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Jeff. We're going to take a real quick break here. I know Beth was introducing the scholarships, but we wanted to take this opportunity to let Khalid say a few words. Khalid Siddiqui is our retired chair of the Construction Management Department, and just wanted to introduce him, let him say a few words before we presented our scholarships. Khalid's a real good friend, spent many years with him working on the Industry Advisory Board. We really appreciate the program he's built up, and I wanted to give the opportunity to let him say a few words before we moved on. So Khalid, take it away.
Thanks, Jeff, and thank you, Beth, for inviting me personally to the virtual event. Participants and supporters of the 19th virtual fundraiser, well done. I would like to add my thanks too for supporting Kennesaw State University's construction management program and students. I'm very proud of the volunteer services of construction industry through the Construction Industry Advisory Board. While the wildfires rage on the west coast of the US and with no respite with COVID-19 worldwide and in the US, there is still plenty to be grateful. Individually, we remain grateful for saving us from natural calamities and for the support we enjoy from the construction community for supporting quality construction education. It is through your support that a large number of CM students receive scholarships. Let us give ourselves a big round of applause. I would like to thank members of the construction industry advisory board members, my colleagues, alumni, students, and my collaborators in research and teaching for acknowledging my contributions to the construction education through my teaching, research, and publications. I have received thousands of emails and snail mail messages, which I plan to respond as fast as I can. Finally, I'm grateful for the construction industry, particularly Melissa and Jeff, Beth, Jerry, Phil, Dwayne, and my colleagues for making generous contributions for creating Siddiqui Endowed Scholarship that will be awarded annually to the CM program students. Thank you, and I cherish this community impact for student success at Kennesaw State. Thank you all for participating today to support quality construction education in the state of Georgia. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Holland. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to the program. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. Don't forget to bring out your checkbooks, bid on the silent auction items. Everything you give goes to the students, to the scholarships Holland mentioned, so it all goes to a good cause. So bid everything up. Have a good night. Thanks.
My name is Wanda Isabel Arce, and I'm grateful that I've been awarded the First Generation STEM Annual Scholarship. Thank you to my donor, the College of Architecture and Construction Management. I promised my father to become the first generation college graduate. My plans are to advance within the construction company I currently work for from an administrative position to a project manager position. The scholarship will also inspire my children. As Roy T. Bennett puts it, you never change your life until you step outside your comfort zone. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Corey Reeves, and I am a recipient of the Shropshire Family Scholarship. I just wanted to say thank you. I plan on using the scholarship to supplement my education. I've done a few different competition teams as well as some research, and it does require me to work less hours at work, but thanks to your contribution, I'm able to continue to do both. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Skylar Mahan. I'm the recipient of the SCORE Scholarship, the Southeast Construction Owners and Associates Roundtable. I'd like to say thank you to my donors, Steve Green and Rich Hogan. I plan to use the scholarship for living expenses and finishing up my last year of college.
Hello, this is Joe Conjemi. I want to thank the College of Architecture and Construction Management for awarding me the department's general scholarship for the fall of 2020. I plan to use this scholarship to pay for tuition.
Hello, this is Christopher Wimbish. I'm a senior here at Kennesaw State University, majoring in construction management. I would like to thank the International Facility Management Association for awarding me the IFMA Atlanta Chapter Annual Scholarship. I will be using these funds to help pay for my tuition, which will take off the strain of work, allowing me to be more involved in my department and in my studies this semester. Thank you.
Hi, my My name is Lauren Yates, and I want to thank Thomas T. Flagger and T. Thorne Flagger III Construction for their generosity towards Kennesaw State University and the construction management program. With this scholarship, I'm able to purchase the necessary items needed to complete my master's degree in the coming months. Thank you once again for your generosity.
Hi, my name is Mitchell Denhart, and I was a recipient of the Juneau Construction Company Scholarship. I just wanted to take the time to thank Juneau Construction Company for choosing me for this scholarship. My books were quite expensive this year, over $500, so the money actually went towards that. And I'm just very thankful that I was chosen for this scholarship and wanted to thank them.
Hello, my name is Naja Thomas, and I am the recipient of the Atlanta Electrical Contractors Annual Scholarship. I want to show my thanks and appreciation towards your generous giving. Your donation will go towards my tuition and my continuous training and education. Once again, I want to say thank you, and I truly appreciate your donation and your giving. Thank you.
My name is Sierra Danforth, and I am a scholarship recipient of the Benning Construction Scholarship. I would like to thank Benning Construction for the scholarship that I will use towards my tuition and housing at KSU. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Cameron Peterson, a junior construction management student with a concentration in real estate development. Hailing from Stone Mountain, Georgia, I am the proud recipient of the Toy Mint Scholarship. I would like to thank the donors for being able to bless me with this amazing opportunity. This scholarship will be used to pay for my educational courses as I continue toward my degree path and will lessen the financial burden of loans on me. I would like to once again thank the donors for this amazing opportunity. Everyone have a safe and blessed day.
Jeans, and I won the Construction Management Industry Advisory Board Scholarship. And I'd like to thank the donors for it, and I plan on using the funds to buy a new computer so I can do my schoolwork at home with having all my classes right now, because I have a MacBook and it doesn't support Bluetooth and things like that. So once again, thanks for the scholarship, and it'll be used towards schoolwork.
Hello, my name is Corey Reeves, and I'm currently a senior at Kennesaw State University. I am a construction and facilities management major, so thank you for your donation and my award for the IFMA Atlanta chapter scholarship. It's definitely going to help out since I am working on some facilities management related research and have subsequently had to take less hours at work. So thank you. It truly helped.
Hello, my name is Nathan Johnson, and I'm a construction management major here at Kennesaw State University. This year, for the 2020 to 2021 academic school year, I was awarded the Fluor Corporation Endowed Scholarship by the Fluor Corporation. I'll be using this scholarship to lay back a bit on work so that I can focus more on my studies as I pursue design in the field of construction and construction management. And so I'd like to extend my kindest thanks to the Fluor Corporation and to Kennesaw State University for giving me this privilege. And once again, thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Naja Thomas, and I am the recipient of the Thomas and Thorne Flagler Construction Scholarship. I want to thank you for your generous donation, and your giving will go towards my tuition, which will help me continue my education and training. Once again, thank you for your generous donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Luis Posada. I am the recipient of D. Hogan Scholarship provided by D. Hogan Company. First and foremost, I want to thank the Hogan Company for providing me with the scholarship. It's definitely a huge help in my academic career. I plan to utilize it to the best of my abilities this senior year. And it's actually really inspired me to give back to others. So I just want to thank you guys, and hopefully I can make everybody proud. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Adam Galucki. I'm a senior construction management major with a concentration in general construction. I'm very excited to say that I am a recipient of the Construction Management Industry Advisory Board Scholarship. I'm incredibly grateful to have been selected for this scholarship and would like to thank the Construction Management Industry Advisory Board for selecting me as a recipient. I plan on using this scholarship to help pay for my tuition this year, as I'm expecting to graduate in May of 2021. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Cochran and Whiting Turner Construction. My name is Wesley Myers, and I was selected to receive the Kennesaw State University 2021 Whiting Turner Scholarship. I wanted to say thank you for your generosity and your support, but I cannot accept your scholarship at this time due to having to take the next year off school because of a last-minute military mobilization in Norfolk, Virginia for COVID-19 relief. Again, I am extremely thankful for your generosity and apologize for not being able to put it to use. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Take my hand and walk with me, yeah, Take my hand and walk with me, yeah. Take my hand and walk with me, yeah.
I learned to play checkers from my grandfather. I was a little guy, maybe 8 years old, small town up in North Georgia, and I remember he challenged me to my very first game. It looked kind of fun. He pours out these red and black pieces on a red and black checkerboard, and he explained to me there's just a couple of rules, very easy. Red goes first, and you have to take your jumps. As we began to play, it became apparent real quick there was a third rule, because I went first and I pushed the red one straight out, and he said, hang on, you got to go diagonally. I forgot to explain that. And I thought, well, that's pretty important little detail there, but really other than that, it's a pretty simple game. We play for a couple of minutes, the red ones start disappearing and the black ones start getting taller, and I find out I'm in trouble as I'm over in the little two corner, just back and forth, trying to survive. My grandfather flushes me out and I lose my very first game. I lost the next game, I lost the next game, I lost every game for about 3 or 4 years until finally I was able to beat my grandfather. Now, the ironic thing is he moved on to me because he couldn't beat my grandmother anymore when I was 8. That day I beat him was our very last game we were ever able to play together. Now, it wasn't because my grandfather died, don't feel bad. It was because he moved on to my little brother. He couldn't beat me anymore. And so I go back to my hometown, about 20 miles away. It's raining one day. I'm thinking maybe we'll play some checkers. We can't be outside. And so I call my friend Eric. We're not going to play ball today. Go down to his house. I got my checkerboard. I said, hey, you want to play some checkers? And Eric blows my mind when he says, I don't play checkers anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you don't play checkers? I mean, what do you do? I mean, we're not the Nintendo kids where I'm from. He says, I play chess now. I said, chess? What's chess? He says, flip over the board. So I do, and on the back side of our red and black checkerboard, there's a black and white chessboard. Eric pours out these beautiful pieces, this little short one. I said, what is this? He said, it's a pawn. It'll just go one spot forward or two on its very first move. He's got this one with the point on it. He says, it's a bishop. It goes diagonally. It's like a checker on steroids. This thing will just go up and down the board diagonally. I said, what's it? The castle. It goes horizontally or up and back. And the little horse. This was cool. We had horses in the pasture, but Eric says this horse 2 up and 1 over, or 1 over and 2 back. And he's explaining all that. This real tall one I hear. He said, that's the queen. She's a woman. She'll go anywhere she wants to go. All powerful in this game. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then you got to protect the king. He's explaining this game. And I was blown away that all along I had been holding in my hands this this chessboard, didn't even know it. As you think about your business, it's a lot like that metaphor of chess, not checkers. It's as if we're all just able to play checkers a few years ago. You can fly by the seat of your pants. Everybody on your team just kind of does their job. But it's as if somebody has flipped the board in the night. I did not even know I'm holding this. I mean, I thought we had this red and black one because we lived in Georgia. We got the Bulldogs and the Falcons. I thought it was a Georgia checkerboard. It's actually both boards. As you think about your business, isn't it as if someone has flipped the board in the night? What used to work is no longer working in this world of disruption, in this virtual world that we live in all of a sudden. The same customers that used to expect one thing, now they're much more demanding. I mean, we live in a world now where people can get their entire season of shows on demand in one weekend as opposed to waiting, for 1 hour a week like we used to have to. I want you to think about how much different your game is. And I want you to ask yourself a question. Am I playing checkers today? Am I still trying to run the play that I was running 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 minutes ago, really? Change is accelerating at such a pace. Or am I thinking about reinventing and playing a different game? If you want to have a competitive advantage, if you want to attract top talent, you've got to think about the game differently. Again, let's remind ourselves of these two games. Checkers, frenetic pace, fly by the seat of your pants. Every piece does the same things. Very little thinking or strategy involved. It's just a fun game. Great to have an RC cola and a moon pie and sit on the front porch of the country store with my granddaddy kind of game. But chess is much different. Every piece unique. Your people, they have these strengths and talents and even weaknesses that you need to sometimes hide, and their strengths you need to maximize. And I want to challenge you to be thinking about your business in a much more strategic way, thinking a few moves ahead, thinking about the future in your game, not just the way things were, but how you need to think about it differently. So as you're here and you're thinking about your business or your team or whatever it is you lead, all of you are leaders or you wouldn't be here in this session right now. I want to challenge you to put on the chess hat, not the checker hat. It's so easy to get bogged down in emails and details and all kind of things. Or as one CEO told me just a few weeks ago, he said, I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole. It's just one fire pops up, we put that out, and we just keep banging on the board, hoping something will get better. Hope, my friend, is not a strategy. Hope is a great thing, but it is not a strategy for high performance. I want to give you a strategy today that will help you have the high performance organization you want. And I want to use this metaphor of chess, not checkers. As you begin to think about the best organizations in the world, and we can name them, organizations that have been around forever, like Disney. Disney, think about Disney. The park's really clean. The rides work. Every time you go there, they can charge you a lot of money. The movies always make you cry. Disney, pretty incredible organization for a long time. Think about Amazon, the packages. It's incredible. You can push a button and it's almost like somebody's at the front door with your package. It's incredible how they deliver every single time. And they tremendously efficient, systems-based organization, but just really high performance in what they do. We think about Apple, been around for a while. There's sports teams that have been really good for a really long time. And here's what I begin to notice as we studied the Navy SEALs and Southwest Airlines and some of these world-class organizations. We found that all these organizations have four things in common. And whether you're Apple or Google or in your spot leading your one little team, all these moves, all four of them are available to you and to me, just like they are to these giant organizations. And so I want to give these to you and get you to think about playing a different game as you move forward toward high performance. So the first move that we found that they all make is they all bet on leadership. They all bet on leadership. You're going to have to place your bet if you're going to chase high performance. You can bet on people, you can bet on systems, you can bet on products, but if you're going to bet on anything, I want you to start by betting on leadership. Push your chips into the middle of the table and ask yourself, are we well led? Because I can tell you this, we can't find an organization on the planet that is a high performance organization that is not well led. If you as a leader get better, everything around you is going to get better. Winners always win. And when people are struggling at the top, things are going to be struggling at the bottom. So I want to challenge you today. If you've been just winging it as a leader, if you've been flying by the seat of your pants, if you've been playing checkers, today's the day to flip the board and play a different game. There's a couple things you can do as you begin to think about betting on leadership. The first one is I want to challenge you as a leader to set the pace for those that you lead. The people on your team need to see a leader that they can follow. You need to set the pace for your people. People always watch the leader. And as you begin to think about what that would look like, I want to give you two ideas here. I want to use a picture that I first saw maybe in 5th grade. Miss Martin, I think, was my science teacher, and she draws on the board a picture of an iceberg. An iceberg. She draws this ocean line, the water line, and she tells us as students, she says, students, about 90% of the iceberg is below the water line. It was a very interesting picture in 5th grade. We didn't have a lot of icebergs up in North Georgia where I was from, but I did go to Alaska a couple of years ago and I saw some real icebergs, and Miss Martin was telling the truth. A lot more going on below the water than there is above the water. As you think about leaders, there's two sides of leadership. There is the heart side, or what we'll call the character side of your leadership, and then there's the skill side. And I would argue that the character side is what makes you a leader worth following. It is, we'll say, a disproportionate amount. Maybe even 90% of your leadership is character. Think about some of the best leaders in the world who have struggled. It has not been because they forgot how to lead a meeting or how to give a speech or how to solve a problem. It's been because they have forfeited their leadership because of a character flaw. And so as a leader, it is imperative that you understand that your people need to see a leader worth following. But you can't just be a great person. You can't just have integrity and be honest and be growing or have a great attitude. Those are great character traits to have, but you also have to have skills. Don't we all know a lot of great people? I mean, we would trust our kids with them. We would trust our family with them, but we wouldn't trust them to lead us. They couldn't lead us out of this room because they don't have the skills. You still have to have a vision for what you're trying to do. You still have to be able to develop people, and you've got to be able to reinvent and remake yourself and your company or your team as you're leading in a disruptive world all of a sudden. As a leader, you've got to have those skills to be able to solve problems and build teams, some of those kind of things. So it is important for us to understand there's a character side and there's a skill side. But let me remind you this. If your heart is not right, no one cares about your skills. Let's start with the heart. Let's set the pace. And let's be leaders. When we bet on leadership, let's bet on ourselves first, grow ourselves first, so we'll be able to build a culture of leaders that are growing. The second part of betting on leadership is just that. It is growing a leadership team, having people around your table to help you do what it is you're trying to do. Do you have the right people at your table right now? Your challenge in business or your challenge on your team right now may not be something else external. It may just be internally that you don't have the right structure or the right people around you. So I want to challenge you to grow your leadership team. And then beyond that, to build your bench, I mentioned the Falcons and Bulldogs a moment ago. There are going to be some football games that are going to start up in a few weeks, or maybe we'll see. I don't know, but hopefully that happens. And as it does, we'll see a picture of this idea of building the bench in living color. I don't know when it'll happen, but first game or so, somebody will get injured. Maybe a left guard will go down, and all of a sudden, that person's got to be taken off the field. And 40 seconds later, that coach is going to have somebody plugged into that slot ready to play at a really high level. As you think about your business right now, what would happen if you went down for a week? Would the person that you leave in charge, would she be able to handle at the same level that you would? Would the person underneath that person, what if the third person in charge, you begin to think about your bench, what if that person were left in charge? Would they be able to do that? If not, as a leader, I've got to own that. It's on me to make sure that my people are ready to fill in and to be put into a slot ready to go. I heard years ago that GE, if an executive leaves their company, they are replaced within 24 hours. Some of us, if we lose somebody, we're scrambling for weeks trying to take a resume or find somebody or know of somebody. I think the best organizations in the world, they have a bench of talent that is ready to take the next slot because they've been developed. You might even picture an escalator. This might help you think about it. As you think about the escalator of your company, everybody got on at some point and everybody's eventually going to get off. Even you as the owner or the leader of your team, 50 years from now or 100 years from now, you will no longer be leading whatever it is you're leading. You may not be leading it a couple years from now in the same way that you are now. And so do you have people that you are developing at every level? You say, what would it look like to develop those people? I would encourage you to go back and think about what is the character that they need. They need to be somebody who's committed to growing. They have the right attitude to accept responsibility for their actions and think others first. You get to decide what character you want them to have and to pursue and to be developed in them. And then what skills do they need for those jobs? I think sometimes if we're not careful, we'll just hope they figure it out, or we'll give them an orientation manual, or we'll spend a day with them and then not check in. And the next thing you know, they're really struggling. And sometimes it's because we haven't developed them, we haven't trained them, we haven't had a picture of what they could become. For all of us, there was a point where we were not where we are now. Somebody took a chance on us. Somebody developed us. Somebody encouraged us. And as leaders, part of betting on leadership is not just to set the pace and grow a leadership team, but it really is to invest in your people and develop a bench of talent so you've got leaders throughout your company. So the first move that high-performance organizations, the ones who play chess, that they make is to bet on leadership. There's a second move that they make. It's one that's available to all of us. They act as one. They act as one. This is about alignment. Alignment always multiplies impact. Alignment multiplies impact. Now, to think about alignment, let's think about a tug of war. Remember when you were growing up, you're in PE or recess, and you had a tug of war. You got half the kids on one side and half the kids on the other side. And the stronger kids were always able to pull the weaker kids. And the next thing you know, the little flag's crossing the line and everybody's muddy and sand, and now it's time to go back in. And there's this big, everybody's tired and exhausted. As you think about your business, do you have everybody on the same side of the rope right now? I'm around a lot of leaders, a lot of companies, and a lot of times when we start with them, they'll have a leader who is exhausted. They're on one side of the rope and they feel like they're pulling, and everybody else on their payroll, people that should be adding value, people that should be bringing energy, they actually feel like they're pulling against these people. They're the leaders on one side pulling, and the people, everybody else in the company is on the other side pulling. And so the leader does something very strategic, really, or maybe desperate, you might even say. They get a few of these people and say, hey, will you come over here? We'll call you leaders and you can help me. And now we'll pull, and they're pulling this way, and everybody else on the payroll is over here pulling. And it's still exhausting. The more you're pulling on one side of the rope by yourself, the more exhausted you are as a leader. What would happen if you could get everybody on your payroll, everybody on your team, everybody in your company, everybody in your organization, all on the same side of the rope, pulling in the same direction, not against each other, but against your competition toward your goals? It would be incredible, the competitive advantage that would grow if you could create alignment. And you actually can do this. Alignment is created when leaders make a decision to create clarity for those they lead. So what does clarity look like? There are a few areas that you could think about: vision, values, systems, structure. There's a lot of things that you could really say, are we all clear on this? Let's think about vision here for a second. If I ask the people in your organization, what is the vision of your company? Would they all say what you say? Or if I said, what's the number one goal for your company in Q4? And I said, let's take an index card out and everybody write it down. Would every single person write what you write? If the people on your team are not embracing and they're not clear on what it is you're trying to do, you're going to struggle to go after high performance. Alignment multiplies impact. As the leader, it is your responsibility to give your people the gift of clarity. When people get clear on what they're trying to do, it is amazing how much more effective they are. And again, it multiplies impact. It is a force multiplier. When you as a leader sit down and have real conversations with people about what you believe and what you're trying to do and why their job matters and how what they do ties to what it is the company's trying to do. So as a leader, let's make sure that we, yes, build a leadership culture. We bet on leadership, but we also want to make sure that we create an environment, we create a culture. As leaders, we're the architect of the culture. We want to create a culture where people act as one. There's a third move that high performance organizations make, and this one It caught me off guard when I heard it. It made sense, but I don't know that I would have thought it when I was thinking like a checker player. A chess player understands these best companies that we talk to. They all explain to us that you have to be able to, the way we say it is to win the heart of your people. This is about engagement. You've got to win the hearts of your people. So many people come to work and they really don't want to be there. In fact, Gallup's latest numbers show that only about 32% of the American workforce is fully engaged. Think about that. That means 2 out of every 3 people on your payroll don't really care about what you care about or what you're trying to do if you're like the typical American workforce. Now, you may say, well, we're not like everybody else. All of our people care. I would push on you and say, as a leader, it is your responsibility to make sure your people are engaged. If they do, that's great. I think back to when I got engaged to my wife. That's when I think about engagement, I think about that. And that's been 35 years ago almost where we got engaged. And I remember how much I was leaning in at that point, how much I cared when I really was asking her to go the distance with me. Now, I want you to think about this. We've been married now 33 years. And as I think about it, there have been a lot of really hard days. But my wife did not expect me to be engaged only on our wedding day, or only on the day we got engaged, or only from the day of engagement to the wedding day. My wife still wants me to be fully engaged today, and yet there's a lot of areas where I don't really feel like being engaged and where she doesn't really feel like being engaged. I mean, you go the distance and you build a company and you have an organization, you have people on a team, there are going to be times it's going to be really hard to do that. But think about it. Why have I stayed with my wife? Because she won my heart. She won my heart. And as a leader, you have the ability to win the hearts of your people. And I can tell you this, if you win their heart, why would they not want to be on the same side of the rope with you? So, well, what does it look like to win their heart? Well, the best business leaders I know, or the best team leaders I know, they foster the dreams of their people. Some of the research showed us that leaders walk in, they think about how to add value to their people rather than extract value. They think about how can I help them make their dreams come true. What if your organization, your construction company, your team that you lead, whatever it is you do, what if your organization was the place where dreams come true? How much more fun would it be to work in your organization? You want to become an employer of choice? Become a place where dreams come true. Foster a sense of community. Build a sense of community, a sense of we, not me. The checker playing organizations are led by leaders who really think about themselves. Chess organizations, there is an abundant mentality. There is not a scarcity mentality. There is a generous mentality. And as a leader, you are in charge and have the opportunity to grow a culture of community, a place where people care for each other, a place where even people love each other, if I could use the L word in a business setting, a place where people celebrate together and they grieve together. It's easy to be there for people when things are great, but what are you there for your people when things are not so great? Or is that happening? You want to foster that culture because it grows engagement. And when engagement grows, effort it energizes effort. And so alignment, leadership, and now engagement as we bet on leadership, act as one, and win the heart. Well, there's a fourth move that high performance organizations make. It's probably the one that you'll think, I'm glad we're getting to talk about this because this is the one leaders want to hear about. It's this idea of excelling at execution, to excel at execution. Everybody, all business leaders or all team leaders, they love to talk about execution because this is about results. But let me give you a little warning here. If you're not careful, you will begin to think about results at the expense of leadership, alignment, and engagement. Leadership, alignment, and engagement. The best organizations in the world, the teams that really thrive the most are the ones that understand that leadership, alignment, and engagement positions us. They become the foundation to allow us to run the play of execution. The warning is this. If you're not careful, you can become like the gymnast who says, I just want to do the dismount. It's fun to fly through the air and stick the landing. That would be a mistake. It is the energy and the momentum of the entire routine that propels her to stick the landing. In the same way for you, leadership, alignment, and engagement will propel you to stick the landing of execution. Now, make no mistake, you will be judged on whether you stick the landing or not. The product has to be right. The building has to look the way it's supposed to look. People got to be served the right way. Billing's got to be done. Whatever your area is or you have your hands on, you've got to execute at a fundamental and high level. But being well led, being aligned, and having people that are engaged make it so much easier to run the play. So let's talk about this idea of excelling at execution here for a second. Almost like if this were planting the flag on top of the mountain, we're doing this. Now, we've defined execution this way. It is to do the right thing the right way every time. The right thing the right way every time. How cool would it be if all the people on your payroll were doing the right thing the right way every time? Well, let's think about this because we again, let's use sports as an analogy here. There are a lot of, it's easy because they have the scoreboard and we can see, did they win, did they lose? But as you begin to break down film and look at a sports team, are they doing the right thing the right way every time? And let's say you have a football team and you got 11 people on the field. It only takes one person missing their block and all of a sudden the play breaks down, it doesn't work, and the defense wins on that play. And so can we create an environment where everybody can do the right thing the right way every time? I think we can. Let me give you a couple of things to think about. The first one is this idea of mastering the fundamentals. Mastering the fundamentals. For a football team, old Vince Lombardi, you've probably heard of him. He's the Super Bowl trophy's named after him. And the Packers won a couple of Super Bowls under his watch, actually won 5 world championships in a 7-year period. And that's why the trophy is named after him. And you can go back and listen to this on YouTube. You can Google this, but you can look at some of his old coaching clinics. And I love Lombardi. He has a picture of the Green Bay power sweep. It was a play that they ran over and over and over again. He says, even on one of those coaching clinics, he says, it was our number one play. And he said, every team that's a winning team must identify its number one play. It's a play they know they have to run to win, and their opponents know they have to stop it if they're going to win. And so as you begin to think about your business, what is the play you're really trying to run? Are you just hoping you have profits? Are you just hoping you have, some sales? Or do you really have a strategic play? If you're not careful, you'll be playing checkers. A chess player would say, this is the play we're trying to run. And as you begin to identify that, Lombardi says, and as he draws the power sweep, we're going to seal here, and we're going to every time run the ball in the alley. And they ran that play over and over again. The other team knew they were going to run it, and they still did it successfully because they blocked correctly. As you begin to think about your business, have you a plan that is intended to master the fundamentals at every level of your organization? A football team knows their fundamentals of blocking and tackling. Do you know the fundamentals of your business? I want to challenge you to make sure that every single person knows the fundamentals of their job. If they're in customer service, do they know the fundamentals of customer service? I know one company, they say we have a core 4. We want to make sure we make eye contact. We want to share a smile. We want to speak enthusiastically. And we want to stay connected by saying my pleasure. You would know what company that is. It's Chick-fil-A. They train all couple 100,000 of their employees to embrace this core 4 when it comes to having interaction with people. As you begin to think about your people who are interacting with people, what are the core things that you want them to master? Or as you begin to think about people who are measuring or counting or building or whatever they're doing, do you have fundamentals that they're trying to improve, trying to get better on? Mastering the fundamentals will position us to excel at execution. Here's a second one, this idea of knowing the score. People love to keep score. Do your people know the score in your business? Do they know how what they do rolls up into what you're all trying to do? And I'm convinced that every role needs a goal. If every single person on your payroll doesn't have a goal, every single person on your team doesn't have a metric that they're being measured on, it is going to hinder their performance. Measurement actually improves performance. I want to encourage you to make sure that you've identified a key number for everybody that answers to you. And then here's maybe a last one, and I'll sort of land it with this idea of raising the bar. As a leader, you have the opportunity to raise the bar and to push to another level. I'll close with that thought in just a second. Before I do, I want to recap just a couple of things. You have a choice. You can play checkers. You can use yesterday's answers for today's questions. And I think if you do, you're going to find that you're going to flunk the test. But if you will really, indeed, move from being sporadic to strategic, you will make a decision to play chess, not checkers. You'll say whack-a-mole is gone. We are going to think purposefully. We are going to not hope. That it's great to hope, but that is not going to be our strategy for high performance. We're going to believe and behave our way there. We're going to be able to make some serious progress. We'll do it by betting on leadership, acting as one, winning the hearts of our people, and excelling at execution. Leadership, alignment, engagement, and execution. And as you begin to do these things, all of a sudden, you will see that your organization will begin to make progress. Now, let me encourage you with this. It's much more like a game of Mother May I baby steps than it is may I take a giant step. The march to high performance is a long, slow march. It has to be well led. It has to be thought through. People are going to leave you along the way, but you begin to build a culture that attracts new people, and you begin to grow the people that you do have, and you begin to lead yourself first. And as you begin to do that, all of a sudden things begin to improve. And the next thing you know, you will be one of these companies and people look at it and they'll think, that is the place you want to work. That is the place you want to do business with, because leaders have taken the time to raise the bar and go in that direction. Now, let me leave you with this. There's an old, I like to read the Bible. Actually, I'm a Bible reader. And there's an old Bible verse. This is a good preacher Bible verse. A preacher would stand up, if you go to church, some of you probably go to church. If you've ever been to church, this would be a verse that a preacher would stand up and say. He would say, be doers of the word and not hearers only who fool themselves. Basically, what's he saying? He's saying, you should go live this out. It's a lot more, it's great to sit here and listen to it when they preach the Bible, but it's a lot better if you live it out. Well, what does that have to do with us? I would say this. If you're going to build a high-performance organization, it's not enough just to listen to these 4 moves. You're going to have to practice, and you're going to have to go live out what, or you can just fool yourself into thinking, oh, that was a good talk. We thought about some things for a few minutes, and then we moved on, and now the next thing you know, we're playing checkers again. I think you have to believe and behave your way to high performance. So I want to give you a gift. My friend Mark Miller has written a book called Chess, Not Checkers. And that book is available at leadeveryday.com. You can find the resources that we've created there. And Mark and I have also written a quick start guide around this content of Chess, Not Checkers, with a lot of the things that we talked about and all kinds of things that you can do to practice with your organization. So I want to give you a free copy of that. If you will text the number 55444, 55444, you'll text the word chess to that number, you'll get access to a digital copy of the Chess Not Checkers Quick Start Guide. 55444, it'll come up on the screen. Text the word chess and you'll get that. Let me leave you with this thought. There's an old Latin word that says, or the word is quantuvus, quantuvus. It means as great as you choose, as great as you choose. In my last few years, I have spent a lot of time on airplanes, and I typically end up in the comfort seats I fly on Delta a lot. I'm usually in the comfort seats. I'm usually in the seats that are just behind first class. Now, first class is very interesting because as you look up there and you can actually see up there, they have a curtain, which is the dumbest curtain in the history of the world, as far as I'm concerned. It's a mesh curtain. You can see right through it. And it's as if they want you to see their grapes and their goblets and their thrones up there. And you're in the back and we're up here and you don't get to be where we are. I'm in the comfort seats. It's better than the back. I mean, there have been times when I've been in the back and as much as I fly, I usually get moved up to the comfort. But as I look at those seats, it even says comfort on the back of the seats. As I look at those seats, it reminds me that I had a choice when I purchased my ticket. I actually had access. Every time I always have access to the first class seats. Now, why do I not sit in those seats? Because honestly, I'm not willing to pay the price. As you think about your business, my question for you is this: are you willing to pay the price for high performance? Are you willing to bet on leadership, to make sure that every level of your company, of your team, of your organization is well led? to make sure that you're the architect of this culture, that you're creating a culture of alignment, that everybody's acting as one, everybody's on the same side of the road. To walk in every day and to understand one of your fundamental skills and really requirements as a leader is to win the heart of your people, to make sure they want to be on the same side of the rope with you. And then ultimately that your organization is in business to plant the flag of execution and to do what only you can do, to build great stuff, to make a great difference, to build communities, to build schools, to build the things that you are building. We need you to lead well. We need you to be aligned. We need you to be engaged. And ultimately, we need you to do what you do, because your leadership is making the world a better place. You can be as great as you choose. Choose to play chess, not checkers, and the world will be a better place.